Hi class, this is Dr. Davis, and I just wanted to take the time to welcome you to our SP 1010 speech communication course. I have a short little introduction just to help you get to know the course a little bit better as well as get to know me. But first things first though, I'm just excited about new students and just having, a new course with you guys. And I don't know about you, but I absolutely love new courses and new beginnings because I get to meet so many new people and new personalities, and it's just so much fun to get to meet all of you, and I can't wait to learn more about you as the course goes along. All right, so as far as our agenda goes today, like I said, I just wanted to take the time to welcome you to the course and let you know that I'm always here if you just want to reach out to me with any questions or concerns about the course material, your assignments, and so forth. Additionally, I'd like to give you an introduction to the course. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about the course as far as what you are expected to learn along the way, learning outcomes, a quick description of the course, and also just to kind of briefly go over a few things that you should know about the course. Additionally, near the end of this recording, you'll find a little bit about me. I'd like to tell you a little bit about your instructor so that you know who's teaching you and that there is a human on the other end of your course that is here for you and here to answer any questions that you have. And of course, after you have viewed the meeting in its entirety, if you have any questions or concerns, you can always reach out to me through the email feature in the course and just let me know anything that you have questions about as far as the course goes. All right, so let's talk about the course just a little bit. The course is designed in a way that is going to help to foster your speech communication skills. Now, I know a lot of times students say, well, you know what, I'm going into a career that I am probably not going to be using speeches too much, so I don't understand why I have to take this course. Well, you know what, that is a very valid question, and I'm happy to answer that for you. Any field that you go into, guys, you're going to be using speech communication, no matter what field you go into. So while you might not be delivering speeches on a regular basis in your career, you will be communicating with others. And that's where this course really comes into play as far as honing in on those speech communication skills to make the most out of those skill sets and also to make the most out of your careers. So, the course description, this course presents and practices the basic principles of oral communication delivery in small groups to medium to large audiences and through a variety of online meeting platforms with an emphasis on research, preparation, delivery, and audience awareness. Now, what does that mean? Okay, that is a quite wordy description, so let me try to go over what I mean here. Like I said, no matter what field you go into, you will be speaking to others, whether it's a small group, consisting of less than 5 people, to a medium-sized group or even larger groups. You will be using your speech communication skills to speak to others. So with that being said, we're going to focus on how to prepare your dialogue, for whatever situation is coming up, to hone in on your delivery as far as your tone, your pitch, your rate, your body language while you're delivering these speeches and so forth. A lot of times students don't realize that they have nervous tendencies when they speak to others. So while I don't necessarily just say, hey, you have a tendency to tap your leg or sway while you speak, I don't just focus on those things. I do try to make you aware of those things so that when you go to deliver a speech and you do that little nervous tendency, you go, oh, wait a minute, I'm doing that, I need to stop. So we look at a lot of different things there. And of course, audience awareness. Did you know that when designing a speech or some kind of dialogue that you're trying to communicate with others, that it's not a one-size-fits-all method? You really have to be aware of your audience, aware of their needs, their knowledge level, and so forth to tailor that message to best fit your audience's needs. That's how we best convey the message that we're trying to present to others. All right. So the learning outcomes of this course. By the end of this course, these are the things that we really want you to have more skills. Well, yeah, to have more skills on. I was trying to think of a better way to say that, but I think that's what I mean there. So by the end of this course, I'd like you to be able to discuss the basic foundation of public speaking. I'd like you to be able to analyze an audience and establish credibility. Again, looking at an audience and seeing what their needs are is a big part of tailoring that message to best fit their needs. Also, establishing credibility. We do this in a lot of different ways, and we can do this through testimony, personal experiences, and so forth. But a big part of conveying information or persuading others is based on integrating research. So we're going to be learning more about research, talking about our online library, academic journals, and so forth to really help you to integrate that research into your message to present more credibility with your audience. Additionally, by the end of this course, I'd like you to be able to have more skills in terms of research, being able to analyze and also organize supporting materials. Again, research is such a big part of the message that we're trying to convey that we want to make sure that we're doing that right. Organizing and delivering effective speeches. That's something that I'd like you to be able to do by the end of this course. Discussing the use of effective verbal and nonverbal communication. Of course, we all know that the verbal is going to be the words that we say. So it's going to be the way that we construct that speech. And that all just starts with your introduction, your body, and your conclusion. We'll talk about how to design an introduction, a body, and a conclusion, effective ways to do that. But then we're also going to be looking at nonverbal communication. So we're going to talk about gestures, tone, pitch, rate, all the other things that people tend to look over in terms of creating an effective message. We're going to discuss those things as well. We're also going to talk about the use of visual aids and how to use those effectively. A lot of times people just think, well, you use a visual aid and that's it. But we also have ways to do this effectively. For instance, a lot of times individuals or speakers tend to not realize that they're talking to their visual aids instead of the audience. So that's something we're going to look at. We're also going to look at how to use them effectively. For instance, we don't want to use a PowerPoint and rely solely on the PowerPoint for the entire presentation, because that creates what many have jokingly said as death by PowerPoint. It's not dynamic delivery. It causes your audience to lose interest a lot of times, and so we want to avoid that. Delivering informative, invitational, persuasive, and special occasion speeches. So we're going to learn about the different types of speeches and how they're constructed. And lastly, we're going to talk about speaking effectively in small groups, which is going to be something that's going to really be effective in your future and current positions. So how is this course set up? Well, this course is set up in a way that hopefully makes logical sense to you. Each unit will consist of different things, but we kind of follow the same path during each unit. So each unit you're going to see learning outcomes, and those are the outcomes that I hope you are able to learn and achieve by the end of that unit. We're also going to have the unit lesson, and that's going to talk about the material that we're covering. Always make sure that you're really reviewing those unit lessons, because a lot of times your assessments and assignments draw from those unit lessons, and I am looking for you to integrate concepts and theories from the unit lessons into your assessments and assignments. Of course, we'll have our reading assignments, so you'll see that in there. Your learning activities are not graded, but they are something, again, that you do want to go over, because you will need to integrate that material into your assessments and assignments. You'll also have unit assessments, which are set up like quizzes, and unit assignments, and those are going to be things such as the speeches you deliver. For certain units you'll have assignments that are creating an outline for a speech and so forth. And then the other areas of the course I just want to talk about real quick is going to be the Ask the Professor discussion forum. If you have questions, you can always reach out to me via email, but if you prefer, you can also post them to the Ask the Professor discussion forum, and that way your fellow classmates can review your question as well. So they might have the same questions that you do, and we can all just kind of review the material there. And then we have the student break room, and you feel free to check that out in your own time, but it's a great way to dialogue with your fellow classmates, myself, and so forth. But again, feel free to reach out to me via email if you still do have questions. All right, so about me, I did want to tell you a little bit about myself, so allow me to introduce myself to you a bit here. I have been in higher education as a professor for several years now, and I have experience at all levels of higher education. I've taught everything from interpersonal communication to public speaking and even business communication courses and so forth. So basically, I've taught pretty much in all areas of the field of communication. Additionally, I have obtained my PhD from Auburn University in the area of educational leadership and technology with a focus in adult education. I also possess a Master of Arts degree in Communication Studies from the University of South Alabama, as well as a Bachelor of Arts degree in Communication Studies from the same university. And like I said, I've taught numerous subjects in the area of communication, and I just absolutely love my field, and I hope you will as well by the end of this course. So, with that being said, where do I call home? I know I do have some local individuals here in this course, but for the most part, most of my students are all over the globe. So it's so much fun to get to meet you guys and get your different perspectives outside of our local community. So I am a Gulf Coaster. I have lived in or near Mobile, Alabama for most of my life, and I just love the area. I am someone who lives about 45 minutes from some of the world's most beautiful beaches, and of course that's my opinion, but as someone who's traveled to various places all over the world, I can honestly say that we really do have some gorgeous beaches here on the Gulf Coast. Therefore, with that in mind, I do enjoy spending a great deal of my time at the beach, and I love visiting the local restaurants and shops in our area. I'm big on shopping local. So in addition to those things, like I said, do live in Mobile, Alabama, which has a very rich culture. We are the official home of Mardi Gras, in case you didn't know. A lot of people believe that's New Orleans, but Mobile, Alabama is the home of Mardi Gras, and we have a fun few weeks with the first part of every year that we get to enjoy the Mardi Gras season. It really is such a fun and gorgeous place to live. So, now as far as my hobbies go, my husband and I absolutely love to travel. We've traveled to various places all over the world, but here are a few snapshots in some of the places that we've traveled. Of course, I couldn't fit them all here, but I picked a few favorites. In the top left-hand corner, you'll see my husband and I, and that is us in the Dominican Republic. It's absolutely gorgeous there. So picturesque. I also have a picture of me skydiving kind of in the middle there. We jumped from 14,000 feet, and in case you're curious, yes, you can see the curvature of the earth from that height. In the bottom left corner, that's my husband and I on Virginia Beach. It's beautiful there as well. I would definitely love to go back. And the smaller middle photo, that's my husband and I at the outside of the White House in Washington, D.C. And then on the far right-hand side, that would be my husband and I in Charleston. Absolutely gorgeous there. It actually reminded me a lot of living in Mobile, so I loved Charleston as well. Wonderful food. So on that note, I hope that helps you to get to learn a bit more about me as well as the course. I look forward to getting to meet you as well, so my best wishes, welcome aboard, and just let me know if you have any questions along the way. Thank you.